The past few weeks, we have been spotlighting and highlighting all the female villainesses, but today, let's talk about those male love interests. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. So very excited that you're here. Thank you guys for this prompt. I forgot how it all went down because it's just been crazy with sickness, recovering from sickness and whatnot. And even today I have a really sore throat, but I asked you guys, I believe, to vote on one of these top 5 Wednesday prompt suggestions. It was favorite couple or favorite love interest. And I thought really hard about couples, but honestly, I feel like with most villainous manga or manhwa, I just zero in on that villainess and that's it. All of the love interests, they're just extras, like not in a bad way. That sounds really bad, but I love our female villainesses. They are fantastic. They are wonderful, but let's give these guys some love and some shine. And I feel like this was actually a really fun challenge for me because I had to think about, okay, what about the cast surrounding our female leads? Who would I choose? I will say for number 1, hands down, it was the easiest for me because I was like the Black Lily from the Villainess's Guide to Not Falling in Love. I love the Black Lily. He is so fantastic, this series, and I do actually have, I think, a first impression because this Villainess manga really surprised me with the high stake action that it had in this first volume at least. But it's about our main female lead, what's her name? Luciana, and she has been reincarnated into this otome game, I believe. She knows that she's the villainess and, you know, she knows everything that's supposed to happen. And so she is, I think she's just trying to really just avoid things going badly when she meets the Black Lily, because she meets a reverse harem of guys here. When she meets him, I mean, this is our first like introduction of him. I don't know if you can see him. Let me get a better picture of him because I love the first time that she actively meets him. Yes, right here. She's trying to write down different details of the game so that she can recall everything because I believe she's engaged to the Crown Prince and she's realizing how she thought he was in the game isn't quite how he is in, I guess you would say, real life. And so when she's making notes about the Black Lily, she is very surprised when he comes up to her and confronts her about it, and then we find out like these different facts about him. But look at his face. What I love about his character, and I ship him so hard with Luciana from in all of the volumes, like that's never changed, is that when you first meet him, he comes across really rude and mean, very cold-hearted. I think when I did my shoujo quiz, they called him, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting like his other nickname, but basically he doesn't express his emotions like on his face. So nobody, a walking statue, that's what it was. And nobody can really know what he's thinking, but he has this very noble and honorable heart because when things are happening later on with Luciana, she is in grave danger. He actually goes to help her despite that in that moment, he really doesn't like what she's doing because she is implying that she knows things, and she does because that, you know, she played the game before she was reincarnated, but yet he still puts his life on the line for her. And when she does something near the end, he is completely like transformed. He is no longer that walking statue. Here he is having, look at him, like here he is having this blushy face, and it was just the beginning for him where he tells Luciana numerous points because at first she's like, no, you can't be with me. No, we just can't do this. And he is so persistent in like the most respectful of ways. And he uses sort of an excuse of like, please don't throw me out. I could be of some use to you, even if you don't like me romantically. I love these small moments where we see him getting jealous of the other love interest. And I really love that even this latest volume, volume 4, I mean, this volume 1, but in the latest volume that has released, I mean, he makes do on that promise that he will help her in any single way possible. Right now, now, I have looked at spoilers for the novel online, like when I've seen them, and there's still no like confirmation of who Luciana is going to choose. She is very airheaded. I find that part of her charm for this series, honestly. I wouldn't say I would always love an airheaded heroine, but for Luciana, she's very earnest, and I really love her character as a whole. But if she doesn't end up with the Black Lily, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I think that they make a perfect couple if they were like actually a couple. And there's so many times, like there's even one moment where Luciana is slowly starting to click those gears, only to like stop and go backwards, and she's like, no, he doesn't like me like that. He's got some kind of illness, which was love sickness, but she didn't realize that's what the other guys were talking about when they were talking about her in front of her. So hopefully the Black Lily is going to come up on top. For the most part, I do love all the guys except for one. I ranted in my latest reading wrap-up video. I don't like how he's like, let's share Luciana. No. The Black Lily and Luciana, that is the ship that I want to see sail. For number 2 though, I really had to start thinking about, okay, who are some of my favorite love interests that I've read in Villainess manga? And this falls under the villainous genre, but I sort of feel like it has more of the vibes than being an actual villainous manga, and that is I Swear I Won't Bother You Again. This is the manga, but I do have the final volume thanks to my friend Gira for gifting the light novel to me. I haven't read the other light novels, but that's okay. That was more than enough to see a happy ending, but it's about our female lead whose name is Violetta. She has, originally in the first timeline, she ends up trying to take out her sister, Mary June, or half-sister, excuse me. Things do not go according to plan, and of course she's thrown in jail, and she prays, asks God for a second chance to do things differently. Her prayer is answered, and when she realizes she has gone back in time, I think it's a year before, she's like, okay, I'm gonna avoid everyone. Mary June, the prince, Yulin, everyone, I'm just gonna avoid them, and I'm gonna become a nun. Well, obviously that's not going to happen. And I could say, honestly, I'm glad it doesn't, because this is one of the male love interests, Yulin, and I absolutely love his character. When I read him in the light novel, because, and I do have a first impression on this one as well, I had heard a lot of people say that the light novel was significantly darker than the manga. The manga is very fluffy, and I love it for that. And when I read just this final volume of the light novel, I think that is very much true. You don't see quite how scarring, I mean, you see the scars, like you see the after effects of Violetta's backstory in the manga, but in the light novel, you actually see it. You see a lot of parts of it and how horrible and horrifying that it was. And so when you see Yulin and he's trying to come in and he's trying to help Violetta, he genuinely loves her. I was going to say with that is before, that's why I held up the light novel, is his personality in the manga is very much toned down compared to the light novel. I found I loved him more in the light novel than I did in the manga, because he has this, I'm sure there's a trope for it, but I'm not really sure what it is. I'm not sure if it's Yandere. When he's away from Violetta, if she's not in the room, his personality is like a 180. He's very quiet, he's very rude, he doesn't care for anybody, he tells people he does not like them, he doesn't want to be around them. He basically uses the people that he needs to use to just sort of function in everyday society. Like we definitely see that in at least at the end of the light novel, where he is around certain people because that's what his job requires of him. But at the end of the day, he just wants to be around Violetta. And when he's around her, he's so happy, carefree, loves on her so much. And I love that. And I know some people would maybe say that he's a red flag. And I'm like, whatever, you want to get behind me, I will protect you, because he loves Violetta so much. And so I love these moments in this volume. I think it was this volume specifically. If it wasn't this one, because I was trying, no, it had been a earlier volume. No, it was this one. So they go and they buy a good luck charm together, and he has like the sweetest of smiles when they're together. And the way that he hugged her at one moment, it wasn't in this volume, but in a different one. And he always is reminding her, like, if you ever need anything, I will be there for you. I will help protect you. I just want your happiness. And I think through every volume, that is exactly what you're seeing of him do just whatever strings that need to be pulled behind closed doors. That man's gonna pull it. He has no fear whatsoever, even when you find out things with I was trying to find like a non-happy face of Yolan, and I'm really struggling to find that. This is the only one, and he's not angry here, but he will do anything and everything to keep her safe, to protect her, and give her happiness. And so I really enjoyed and loved him as a love interest for that, especially in light of Violetta's backstory and literally everything that she's gone through and the pain and the suffering that she has had in her home, and how he was like, I'm gonna get you out of this, and how he delivered on that promise and got her out of that into such a much better place. And for them to just have the happiest of endings, like, yes, Yolan, you have a happy ending because I like your character, and go give Violetta a happy ending too. Look, I know for my event I have been spotlighting shoujo series, but y'all, when I remembered I had this on my shelf, I was actually like, Laura, how did you forget? How did you not remember? Because I love this love interest, and that is Prince Claude from I'm the Villainess, So I'm Taming the Final Boss. He is fantastic. I was skimming through the series this morning because the manga's technically the manga's 3 volumes, and then it has like a bonus volume of Happily Ever After, which I highly recommend if you're a fan of the series. But basically, our female lead has been reincarnated into like a fantasy game of sorts. I think it might be an anime game because she does reference how there's different love interests in this game. She knows that ultimately her demise is coming, and she feels that if she can just marry the Demon King, who usually is at the center of her demise, then, well, that can't happen to her. She'll stay alive and stay happy. So we see her shenanigans in volume 1 of trying to convince him to marry her, despite that he's like, do you love me? She's like, no. These shenanigans continue through the whole series, and when I was flipping through, I always focus on Aline because she's just such a fun heroine. But I was trying to zero in on Claude so that I could actively like talk about him and how cool he is. It was really cool to see his transformation of how he's really leery of her, but how when she went out of the way to help somebody, or help something I should say, that he started to view her differently. And when he teases her, I love it so much. I think it's so fun to see him genuinely open up as a person, not just as this scary Demon King, that he is this man and that he has a really big heart for the people under him, for the creatures under him, and that he has this very beautiful wish. And I love that Aline has seen that and knows what it is and wants to help him. Like, she definitely wants to marry him, yes, and she falls for him and he falls for her. So the ending is one of my favorites. Like volume 3, absolutely love it. But there were some really nice moments in here, although a little bit of scary moments as well, when the character that's next to him is trying to do some things, but during that moment though, he's thinking about all of the great things about Aline, and I love how really she just wormed her way into his heart, and that he just I wouldn't say couldn't get enough of her, but he really enjoyed being by her side and wanting her to be by his. It was very fun and very beautiful. I was trying to find the scene when they're in the carriage. I think it was in volume 1, because that is the moment you start seeing that teasing come out, and it's like, this is fun. This is what I signed up for, and having a blast. I love those moments when you have like this scene. I love this scene, but I love those moments when you have the villainess open up to the love interest, and for how outlandish it seems to them, that they sort of take it in stride and believe the heroine. That is one of my favorite tropes, I guess you would say, in these reincarnated stories, because typically we don't see, it doesn't even have to be a villainess, but the female lead open up. Like One Night with the Duke, if I'm saying that title right, that happened in that series as well. And so I just love when these guys do it, and Prince Claude does it as well, and he has a really fierce, amazing ending that was really scary when it came to volume 3 and everything he does, but he is just such a fun, swoon-worthy kind of hero, and I love that him and Aline they have some of the best and greatest moments together. together, and I need to come back to the anime because I heard that they like compacted so many of the light novels into a very short amount of episodes, but I really enjoyed what I did watch because it's just a fun series, and Claude, hands down, is one of those reasons of why it's so much fun to read this series. For number 4, I almost feel it's cheating because I had originally 4 and then I was looking at my list and I was like, oh, I know who to add to this. I know who to add to this. And that is Prince Julius of May I Ask for One Final Thing. And I know I've been talking a lot about this series. I mean, I just did a video review, but I have just been hooked on it. It's amazing. The anime is amazing. I feel, well, let me rewind in case if you're not familiar with this series. It's about our female lead, Scarlet. She is the typical villainous opening where second prince is like, I'm breaking off this engagement because you did X blah things and it's blah blah blah, and she didn't do any of that. But rather than just walking away from this broken engagement, she's like, okay, may I ask for one final thing? And she beats everybody up. And so it's her story of getting her life back, not having to subdue her punchy villainous self or anything. It's really, really great. The person she was engaged to, Kyle, was the second prince. And so Prince Julius is the first prince. I love him on page. He is so sus, but he's so funny in the sense of he knows how to get a reaction out of Scarlet every single time. And almost every single time she falls for it. And I love how they are just two peas in a pod. Like, he is the perfect match for Scarlet, in my opinion, because he fully supports and embraces her punching all of these evil nobles. He supports her in really whatever she wants to do. And while it's not a romantic series, I do love that the few romantic moments we have gotten with Prince Julius and Scarlet are so incredibly swoon-worthy. Like the one that was in episode 3, excuse me, of this past week of the anime, so good. And so I love seeing him in Scarlet's life, even though I feel bad that Scarlet doesn't really like that or appreciate that. But as a reader and a watcher, oh yes, yes, I'm like, bring on more shenanigans. Prince Julius, I'm here for it. He's truly, truly a blast to just read about. I feel like I wouldn't usually like this kind of love interest that makes the life harder for the female lead. But in this case, I'm like, you know, I love being able to laugh because of things I read or watch. And he does that in spades. I think that's where my biasness comes in. I do think he makes a really great prince though, and you can see even through all the teasing that he does, that he genuinely does care for Scarlet and values her. I don't think Scarlet quite believes his romantic feelings for her, but I do think that they're very real and that they're very genuine, and he would do anything for her. At least, I don't know what episode it will be, but in the manga volume 2, we definitely see that in action. And I feel like that's sort of what made me be like, okay, he is really great, because of no matter how much teasing he does in the series, you can see very early on, like, this is more than just him wanting to get her riled up and get a reaction out of her, that he genuinely cares for her and wants her to be in his life. Maybe that comes out in the form of just, again, getting her worked up a little bit and seeing her get angry, but I think there's definitely more to his feelings, and I truly hope, I mean, I can only read up to volume 3 of the manga right now, but I truly hope in further volumes that it is so deeper explored and that he's there. I know at the end of, or near the end of volume 3, we see the briefest moment of jealousy, and I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Anything to see him really be sincerely open about his feelings. Like, I am on board for that. So I can't wait to see more of him in the anime and what he's gonna do, because I have no doubts he's just gonna continue to be a blast to see how he's gonna make Scarlet upset next. For number 5, I feel like this one, I feel like it counts. It does come from a manga, and that is Though I Am an Inept Villainess, Tales of the Butterfly Rat Body Swap in the, or Tale of the Butterfly Rat Body Swap in the Maiden Court. I'm actually gonna say the captain. I spent almost an hour this morning before filming this video, got my whole schedule off because I was too busy skimming through and rereading the volumes so I could find as many panels as I could that I felt were like romantic for our captain here. So the series is about our oh goodness, I don't even know which picture to show you. So it's a body swap manga, but it's about our main female lead, Reiren. Here she's in actually the other body, but she is in her real body, which would be Reiren here. She is very sickly, and one day during the supposed miracle comet that is supposed to happen, Kagetsu actually, because both of them are consorts for the crown prince, Reiren is the favored butterfly while Kagetsu is the sewer rat. And so Kagetsu, this day of this miracle comet, pushes her off the balcony. Rather than dying, like expects her to, when she, I guess, hits whatever, she hits something, like not the ground, but she wakes up to find that she's in the body of the villainous Kagetsu, while Kagetsu is in her body, the favored butterfly. When Reiren is in this body, she is treated so badly in the beginning. The real Kagetsu has done so many awful things to so many people around her, but Reiren is so excited to be in this healthy, enabled body that she can do all these things that she's wanted to do, but her real body didn't have the strength, maybe if that's the right word, to do these things due to how sickly she was. And so there is, I guess you would say there's two different love interests. He's the crown prince, though. The crown prince is the other. Yes, here they are. They're on the back. So the crown prince is the one here with the brown hair. He is one of the love interests, and then you have the captain that has the long black hair. And I do not like the crown prince. I think he's better as the series goes on, but as a romantic love interest, no. The reason I really like the captain is because he knew from chapter 1 that Kagetsu wasn't acting like herself. And even if he is not really necessarily aware that it's Reiren in her body, he's just like, something isn't right. And I feel like he was the first person to really realize that this is Reiren in Kagetsu's body. And so I love how just at numerous points he knows she is not actually Kagetsu. Like, we see this very much in the 6th volume here. Oh, he's so cute. Look at this little blushy face right here. I love that little face. And so he knows. I feel like the crown prince didn't know, period. And so I very much ship Reiren with the captain here, even though this is not necessarily a romantic story at all. The romance is very, very much on the back burner, but this volume 6, is one of my favorites because when he makes, like, the captain makes the connection, he finds or remembers like a loophole of sorts of how he could get Kagetsu to be his wife. And it creates a sort of an issue because we have this whole body swap, and because the person he's actually in love with is not the real Kagetsu, it's Reiren. Every volume that he was on page, I was so excited, and I love how he is just not afraid to, say like, hey, there's something going on here. Like, he wants to be trusted by her. I gotta cover this right here, but this scene here, yes, I was all on board for this. This is when he starts having the realization of like, okay, there is a loophole here, but it's going to cause problems. But I truly hope that if this goes into a romance at all, I so hope that he is the one that wins her heart and not the crown prince, because I was just so upset of how, for 2 volumes that this body swap is going on, and he had absolutely no idea. I'm like, how is the captain of the Eagle Eyes, who's not even, he's not even active in Reiren's life. But yeah, I really like him a lot. I feel like he's a love interest. He may not be the chosen love interest like the Black Lily, but I'm still shipping him with the female lead so hard because I think too that they make a really great pair, especially is either in volume 6 or volume 7 when Reiren is having this breakdown. I feel like it was so hard to read because Reiren is such an uplifting heroine, and I do have a video review on this series. I filmed it back in February, and I need to reread the series from start to finish, but I feel like when Reiren has sort of hit rock bottom, or she's almost there, that she was not afraid to be real with him to the point where she yelled back at him. I I just love how there is this potential rawness to their relationship that I feel like she doesn't have with any other male lead outside of her brothers, but that's not romantic. That's because they're siblings. So to see her be this real and frank with somebody, maybe not because it was by choice in the sense of nobody else is seeing quite this struggle that Rayren's going through, but the captain does because he's just so aware of his surroundings in general. So when he's able to notice it, I love how he genuinely calls her on it. Like calls her out, like not in necessarily a bad way. Right here, like he's like, no, stop this because of what she's about to do. So he's not afraid to just be real with her. And I absolutely love that. I should have put more bookmarks in the books so that I could show more pages of him because I think he just looks really cool. Like this panel here is really great. Like I love how his hair is there. It was a really hard scene, definitely not a happy moment by any means, but even right here, he's like, let me, I can be your sword, and he is, that's all I can tell you because it accidentally go into spoilers, but he genuinely cares for her. And again, not saying the Crown Prince does, but he just does not measure up to how cool the captain is in this series. And so those are all of my 5 favorite love interests that I really, really enjoy either reading about or seeing on screen. But I would love to hear from you, friends, of what are some of your favorite love interests in Villainess manga or manhwa. I was gonna do something for Villains Are Destined to Die, but my feelings are not so simple when it comes to the love interests, and I feel like I couldn't talk about one character due to spoilers I know and accidentally saying something, so I just did all manga today. But yeah, let me know what you think, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!